Morning, everybody. Sorry, give me a sec here. I'm still working with the bot issues, so I'm getting everything kind of moving. Takes me a minute. Gotta copy and paste all sorts of. Why live trading here instead of Discord? Because here I'm able to share one trading session across all servers, right? You know, because I work on quite a few different servers to different extents, and you know, I usually work with one at a time. But here, you know, I talk to the owners and I agreed, you know, that I'll do this live trading for everybody and not promote any server, you know. So that way, the only thing that gets promoted here is actual education, trading, and of course the YouTube channel itself. But no, you know, no servers, no mentorships, no paid anything like that. So that way it's beneficial to everybody. Everybody gets the content. Everybody gets to trade. Hopefully everybody makes money, you know, and we build the channel. Speaking of which, if you don't mind, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, much appreciated. Put any requests you have in the chat. I'm happy to take a look. And are you still in Cisco? Yes, I am still in Cisco. Market's a little crazy today, but it's going to be that way, you know. So don't sweat it. Nice. Yep, Adobe's ripping. Software is on fire. IGV is going for its high again. Anybody still have that IGV runner with me? I let it dip all the way down. I held on to it. How it's doing okay. We went in the money this morning, but it looks all right. Might need till Monday. Same thing with Intel. Intel made a new high. They're making new highs, but they're just struggling with resistance. We're just looking for it to crack resistance. That's all. Nibius is kind of getting smoked. Now is beautiful. Who's in the now trade with me? 130s. I still have the 120 runner. So that thing's on fire. Let me see. Where'd it go? 160% on the now 120 runner. And the long dated one for September is up 130. So let's take a peek at that real quick. Oh, I am peeking at it. So here's the breakout. We were looking for the break. So I was looking for like the 123, 124 area for a trim, which we got this morning. And then basically we're looking for in the money at this point. We want to see an extension. You know, we want to see it move up to here. So I'm just going to let it run. We have over a month to go, so why not? Why not? Cisco is still kind of struggling after that push up overnight the other night, but, you know, we just want to see it hold here and bounce. It might take till Monday, but it's all right. We can wait if we need to. Affirm, the 6750 puts actually flashed a little green yesterday. So if we can get this to reject off of yesterday's high, like, then if it falls through here, like, it's cooked and we'll be in good shape. So I'm still sitting on that. Any other updates we need? I think we're pretty well updated now, right? Microsoft has been, the strength in Microsoft is just wild recently. Crazy price action this morning too. We missed that. We missed that SPY move, unfortunately. That's okay. Let's set a give me one sec here. Trail. So I'm setting up a trailing stop here. All right. Let me send out an alert here real quick. I got this new bot. I'm still kind of working it out. I like it, but I'm still kind of working it out. All right. Let's see if we can't find some trades. I'll try and keep up with the chat here too. I'll do my best. Yeah, Adobe's doing really well. Whoever mentioned that. I'm not in anything yet. Is Roblox worth buying? So I actually just cut a Roblox position. I liked it, but like the weakness is just ongoing. Like the selling pressure is brutal on that. So I got out of it. I'm not averse to getting back in, but I want to see some strength first. And here's the thing with stocks like Roblox. Do they have long-term potential? I think so, yeah. The chart is still looking good for like the biggest cup and handle ever. But the problem with that is it's lost opportunity. While it's taking forever to make its move, you have other stocks that are just ripping. So it's like opportunity loss. You could be doing much more with your buying power. So I'm going to try and stick to, for now, I'm going to try and stick to stocks that are strong relative to their sector, right? So speaking of which, I guess Apple. Apple could be a contender for today. Actually, SPY might be a contender. But Apple looks pretty solid for today. Actually, we might have just missed that. Damn. QQQ. So, oh, what is happening with QQQ? SPY is just a beast. Okay. NVIDIA looks good, but other semis don't. Weird price action today. But listen, that's an NFP day for you. You're going to see some odd price action at times. So we just go with the strong charts. Yeah, look at Adobe. I think Bitcoin's ripping. So everything Bitcoin related is also ripping. What is Microsoft doing? I mean, Microsoft looks solid this morning too. I wonder what Microsoft 505s look like. They're a little expensive at 140. What is Cisco doing? Man, I might have to cut Cisco, and that really pisses me off. All of this happened overnight. We barely got anything out of it. That would really suck. What's this low? Set at 120. See, and that's the thing. Like I said in my alert that I sent out earlier, I don't want to get shaken out of positions today because being that it's an NFP day, there's a lot going on, right? There's going to be some movements on stocks that might not totally make sense. So, like I don't want to, if possible, I want to stick to trims only today, if possible. Sometimes like it gets so bad you got to just cut it. But I want to try and stick to trims only today because, NFP days are known for dumping the market and then totally reversing it on Monday or vice versa. So I don't want to start cutting positions and everything else just for it to reverse on me. So as long as I have conviction in the trade, I'm going to try and hold on to it. I really do want to try 505s here on Microsoft, maybe higher. I'm just concerned that this is maybe creating a lower high here. Here. So I'm checking some. Oh, wow, Adobe's killing it. Adobe is killing it. Oh, very nice. I'm just looking to see. Oh, wow. It's a running for sure. And there's the Cisco alarm. So the question is, will Adobe keep running? So these are higher highs and higher lows it's been dealing with. No, it should go for the high at 75 there, I would think. It should. I mean, that's not a definite, but it should. So I'm going to sit on it for a little bit. Well, I mean, I have a few different spots where I'm exposed to that. Yeah, see, this is what I was concerned about with Microsoft. All right, let's see if we can figure out where the market is going right now. Software is definitely strong. IGV is pushing. Made a higher low here off this block. So I may look to, I'll probably just hold my runner on IGV. I mean, unless, what was the high? 104? Yeah, no. See, IGV is a slow mover. It's tough. SMH. Let's go back to Apple. No. SPY. I wonder if QQQ is going to catch up here at all. Because here's the crazy thing, right? So when I look at the market internals, tech looks stronger. Like tech looks a lot stronger, but it's the S&P that's doing the running. So maybe QQQ catches up here in a minute. Maybe this is let's see. Maybe we're just looking at a consolidation type situation here, and it's going to break out and go for, I mean, it did hold the low here. So what was the pre-market high? So what, 723, 724, 723.85. So maybe we look at a QQQ here. Come on, I can't type. So, is this the one where it breaks out? Yeah, maybe it is. So if we shoot for the pre-market high, so I mean, it's a pretty simple strategy here, right? It obviously held the lows, like it retested the gap here, held the low. So the next step we would assume would be the session high and then the pre-market high. Interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that. So let's see, are we going to get a bounce out of this here? Maybe from these highs or here. I may go into, let's see, what is the, maybe even 22s. Is there a little more attainable here? New 5-minute candle. It's the last one of 15. So if it's gonna pop, it's gonna be now on this 15. Otherwise, that's gonna close as an inside candle. I'm gonna try some 722 calls. I'm not gonna go crazy on them. Leave a little space to add here. See what it's gonna do. Got in at 99. One sec. So I got a lot of typing going here. A lot of positions to add and alerts to send. It's a lot, honestly. All right. Everybody's updated. Position, how are their positions doing? So leave a little room to add there. All right, so we want to see, so this 15 had a solid bounce to it, right? And it's kind of consolidating down, looking for liquidity. Touch these highs, which would basically be the highs of yesterday and the pre-market here. And it bounced, had a pretty strong bounce, but then it kind of hesitated here. So we're looking for it to continue in this area here. Continues to get weak here though, which is crazy because the VIX is falling. It did the same thing yesterday. The VIX is falling, but things continue to sell off for some reason. Doesn't always make a whole lot of sense. But if it's going to bounce, it should be in this area. Should be. Otherwise, it might just break down. I mean, is there a chance it breaks down? Always, but you never know. Especially on NFP days. So NFP days are, price action gets a little crazy. That's why I said I went small on this, just in case. All right, so this 15 minutes about to close, and it's going to close as an inside candle. Don't like this a whole lot. I was hoping it would push up towards the open. We'll see what happens here. Not a bad sign. We want to see it go take this 5-minute high here. The 5-minute high is 2023. This guy here. As you see, it's kind of a consolidation here. Like this is a rejection, right? How it kind of rejects and goes down. This is more of just a consolidation. So it's consolidating and it's looking for somewhere to bounce. Like it's looking for some liquidity, some buyers to grab to send it back up, which these areas could definitely be the area that it was looking for. Gap down, it's not great, I don't know why, but freaking Cisco. Everything is just kind of a mess today. But if QQQ can break up here, a lot of that tech will break with it. All right, so 2023, we need to get this guy. Let's see it break that, and then it's got a good chance to, a better chance to continue, I would say. All right, so over 20, it's plus 10%. Looking for maybe plus 20, plus 25%, something like that for our first trim. So maybe like 125, 130 on the contract. Pop right here, definitely do it. 5, 2, 10, 23, came up a little short of that wick. Come on, breakthrough. What's the 30-minute look like? Yeah, so the 30-minute looks good for continuation. If this can be our low on this candle and it continues through this high, it's got a good chance to continue on up this way. There's 15%, 18%. 21%. Let's see something here. Come on, don't reject here on us. Just starting to make some progress. Don't reject there. This is going to be the tough spot. It needs to get through here. Here's kind of tough too. Same area though. So it hit 2055 here. Came up just short of this wick. So we got our high here. No, that's not what we want to see. Come on. This way. Go. I'm manifesting here. Go. Makes it go. It works sometimes. All right, so last minute on the 5. As long as this can hold, that's a solid 5. This wick that it rejected here. 23. Nice to see it close above 2023. And it closed just under it, but that's all right. It was still a solid close on that 5. I just want to see it continue this way. Come on now. Time to get moving. There you go. Keep going. Give us a nice momentum push here. Don't do that. 40, 540. Let's see a strong close here. I mean, strong enough, I guess. 20, close 17. And we want to give it a little space, but you don't want to see it stall too much here, because if it does, then eventually it's going to drop. So we want to see it at least push through that high soon in the next like candle or two. You know, as you get like increasingly lower highs here, it's going to do that. All right, so whoops. Give it a little space here, but not too much. I don't like that it took that low, but that's not great. Yeah, we need to see a strong bounce on this, or I might just cut these early. You know, sometimes it's better to just take a small loss at like minus 15% or something, you know. Could it bounce in your favor still? Sure, but at the same time, it can also save you from a much larger loss. So 2 minutes left on this 5. This 5 opened just under 720. I want to see it flip green again, ideally. So it opened here on this guy. So ideally, it closes up here to the 5 minutes green. But at least we want to see it close strong and push into it. If it continues down, like I said, I might just cut it. Because tech is just, I don't know what it's doing recently. Just kind of blah. $6.70. So this is the closing minute on the 5. Something tells me it's going to want to push down now. Being honest, so far this is kind of boring price action for an NFP day, which is surprising. Usually the price action gets pretty wild. 70, 76. You know, now it looks like it's starting to turn into just a sideways chop here, which I don't want to sit through, because then the chop just eats up your contracts. Price action might be fine, but just the sideways chop, the time just eats it up. Come on, break up. No. $7.59 came up like 2 cents short of this wick. And again, these lower highs, it's got to break those. Otherwise, it's just gonna dump through this low. And this would be its opportunity on the new 5-minute to do that. Can't seem to get through 1957 though. There we go. There we go. Now get through that one. Okay. All right, now we got to take this high. So we got to get through 2055. May try and do this though. We don't want to see that. We want to see it break through, take that high. Come on, bounce. Yeah, this is what we don't want to see. Just this sideways action. Come on, close strong. It's not going to. What was that high? 2011. Come on, go. Go. Pushing it. I'm motivating it. Oh, is my motivation working? Come on. Everybody do it with me. Give it some motivation. There we go. Took that high. Now go get these. 2040 and 2055. There's 2025. Keep going. We want to see a full-on breakout here. 2025. At least need to get to 35, 40. No, don't pull back. Don't do that. See, I stopped. So it stopped. 25. This is getting to be like watching paint dry. So 2 minutes left on the hour, which is a bit of a consolidation candle. Love to see that 30-minute rip upwards and take the high. There we go. $54, that's 55. So come on, up here. Finish off this 30-minute strong. 30-minute opened at 21.25. Man, this price action is just brutal. It missed this high by a penny. 4. I mean, if this can reverse here, this deep wick and a turnaround would be definitely be positive price movement. You know, a deep retest followed by bounce can be one of the strongest signs you can get, like this. So if it can pop green, that's a good sign there. But ideally, we wanted to see that close green. But at least the 5-minute closed strong. So maybe we get a little continuation here. Problem is, on this push, we were up like 21, 22%. This one, we only got up like 11%. And that's just time eating at the contracts. Come on, keep going. Come on. Come on, push. 46. Can only seem to get to 46 here. 46. It needs to get over 55. 50. This is 54. That's 55. There's 54 again. Come on. Go. Go. 57. So there's a new high on that at least. This one's 59. There we go. Keep pushing. 15%. Come on, follow through. 21.05. Man, this is freaking brutal. 72. This is 81. What's that high? 21.65 was the last hourly high. This guy here. Here. So that's not even that far. Just to test the hourly high. And the problem is it's just chopping. We just need one solid move to get a nice trim in. And this is the one downside of trading contracts that are a little further out of the money, that they'll do this to you. Like, you need that momentum to get the contract moving. If you're trading closer to in the money, once you get in the money, there's the intrinsic value behind the contract, so they move better. But with these, the out of the money contracts are cheaper, and those are the ones where you can get like the big percentage wins, you know. But they're definitely more volatile. And they're a pain when you're getting this. So we did get a high here, but the concern is that could just be a sweep. If you see these candles here, you see my cursor, all these bodies are like in the same place, right in that like 2040, 2045 area or 2043 area. That's definitely a resistance, and it needs to break it. Otherwise, it's just gonna earn. So it needs a clean break, and it needs to close up here, which it doesn't seem to want to do, which is concerning. You know, and as price compresses here like this, it tells you that there's probably a bigger move coming, but that move could easily go against you too if you let it compress too far without getting a move. So this high was 2072, 75, 82. There we go. Keep moving. Okay. 15, 17. Come on, push. I mean, it has all day to get there, honestly. But, you know, I'd like us to be able to kind of do it all together. And, you know, so a breakout here would be ideal. A breakout here takes us through the hourly high. I mean, it does look positive. This kind of higher low here makes it look like it wants to break and take out the high. And all we really need is for it to take out this high. It takes this high, and we get a nice percentage win. It takes this high, and we're golden. So we only really need it here to get a nice trim in. What was this high? 2090, 2103. There we go. There's 30%. Take a trim, guys. Beautiful. We got something. And sorry, I know I haven't been checking the chat a lot, but I've been kind of laser focused on this. I want to make sure we didn't end up getting like rejected here and losing. So we got a 30%. Oh, I got to alert that. All right. Did this fill? Sure did. Okay. All right. So I want to set my next one. I'm going to look for like 50%. So limit. Let's see here. So I'm in just under $1. So I'm looking for like the 150 area. Right. Come on, continue. 35%, 40%. So if you want to set a limit order, you can for like the plus 50% area. I do it manually just because, that's what I do when I do it live like this or when I'm alerting day trades. I'm messing with an options prop firm, and that's where I'm actually setting the limit orders for the trim. That way it's one less thing I have to do manually. It kind of does it for me, All right. So a clean break here will take us over this. Clean breakout, and this can run well in the money for us, which would be a very, very nice win. There we go, 40%. And ideally, we can let this, this pops for us. We can get it down to a runner, and then just let the runner go, and we can start looking at something else. I know this might be getting a little boring for you guys. I mean, especially if you're not in this trade with us. All right, where's the 5-minute at? Definitely don't want to see this 5-minute turn red. So it's pushing at the hourly high. 2165, we got the 2140, so we definitely want to see it continue through there. First stop is here, 2154. It's these two wicks right next to each other. And then especially if we can get up over that hourly high, it should give us a little cushion on our contracts that we don't have to watch it quite as closely. Come on through the high here. 5, 4, 3, there you go. 1. Nice, pushed right against it. Now this just pop. Come on, go. Go. We got an equal high here right now. Oh, come on with this BS. Playing games. What's SPY doing? SPY. Wow, SPY is chopping even worse. Right? Or am I just zoomed out too far? Yeah, SPY is kind of chopping even worse, really. Definitely want to see this close up here, not down here. This is where it opened. God, if that closes green, that'd be great. It's not going to. It's going to close very red. So I don't think I'm going to let this go red. Like, I want to see it continue up. I don't want to risk taking a loss. There's another equal high at 2140. It needs to take that out. Come on, there you go. 44. Where are we at first? We got to get to 54 and 60. 40, 45%. Come on. Keep pushing. We got up to 59. The high's at 65. Keep going. Keep going. Love to see just a big momentum move, just ripping through that resistance up to here. Like any kind of, like this was nice. You actually had a few candles of follow through moving together. You know what I mean? All right, there's 50%. Trim another one. All right, now we're getting somewhere. So it took the hourly high. Now we got to be careful of that, right? It took the hourly high. Now it may want to pull back. It may even pull all the way back to its hourly open. We don't want it to, but it might. See, it just took half the gains back just in that one stinking candle. Yeah, I could easily see that rounding off. Huh. Continuation through this would be awesome, but I don't know if it's going to. $21.74. Go ahead and keep going. That'd be great. This kind of barcoding here, the Christmas barcode, not a big fan of. Like I said, this here, where at least you have a few candles in a row of trend. Concern is it might turn into a few red candle trend. Which would bring it probably all the way back down here-ish. And again, because it's further out of the money, the contracts lose value pretty quick. But regardless, we're not going to let this go red. We got a win in, so we're going to hold on to that win. Right? Like that's the concern there. Where are we at? See, we don't want to see that 15 drop back in here. Or the 5. A retest is fine, right? So like a retest of this trend line and then up is fine. But we don't want to see it drop back in here. Yeah, that closing as a hammer up here would be ideal. Push strong. There you go. There you go. Now continue. 14, 12, 13. No, don't stop. There you go. Now go. Let's see this 15 close strong. That would be nice. It's at a tough spot here, obviously. Just got to try and get through all that mess where I rejected there once. And I think it will. And it's just a matter of what kind of risk you're willing to take. Are you willing to let it go red to potentially bounce higher? I'm not a fan of that personally. Once I'm in profit, I prefer to stay in profit. You can get bigger wins if you do, but I don't want to risk what I already have unless I'm like a risk-free runner. That's a different story. Like I might let a runner run, but usually at that point you're up enough where it's, you can put a stop in profit or something along those lines. All right, so this ended up engulfing. and it closed as consolidation, which isn't bad considering it was the fourth green candle in a row. So it kind of reset the trend. Now we want to see that trend continue with a few more candles to the upside, ideally. Same thing here. We want to see it move up. So first we got to see it get through 2150. Come on. What was this high? So 31 first. Just get through this high. Again, we're getting more sideways action here. Not ideal by any stretch. It's like I know as soon as I give up on it, it's just going to rip. But sometimes it's better to go find more productive opportunities. So we want to see it bounce off of this and continue. Otherwise, then I'll just take the profit we have left and move on. So come on. The high is 26 and 31. There we go. New high there. Now go for these. 2150, please. Hold in the close. Got some volume ticking up here too, which is positive. Come on, close strong. No, don't do that. All right, at least it pushed up the last second. Now continuation. 240, 50, on in the money for us. Yeah, this is a tough spot on the chart. It swept this high, but it doesn't seem to want to hold. I'll tell you though, if it'll just pop here, our contracts would jump quite a bit. Especially since like right here, we were so close to in the money. So close. Like a quarter away. 25 cents, 26 cents. So like I said, just a break through this resistance and we're in good shape. Sorry guys, I expected today to be much more exciting with NFP this morning. All right, push. You jerk. 26. 28. All right, need to get to 40. There's 36. Keep moving. You got to get through this wick, and then it's got to get through this wick. Really, it's this one that's holding it down right now. That was a solid close, though. Now, continue. Brutal. Absolutely brutal right now. All right, so you got your little pullback. Now go and break it. I think it's kind of low on this candle. This sideways action. So we got an engulfing candle, then we got an inside candle. All right, well, it just took the high. Hopefully it doesn't just sweep that. We want to see it continue. All right, so like I said, this was an engulfing candle. This was inside. Now we've taken the high of the inside candle. Typically when it takes that high, especially if it closes above it, that's a solid sign of continuation. But you also don't want to see it just kind of sweep it and turn around. If it does, it can be quite the rejection. So we want to see this get up over 2150 and then obviously above 2174. All right, so there's 47. We're getting there. We're back to 35% on the contracts. Okay. 47 is the high so far. We need 51 as our first hurdle. Really? And it swept the high. On flip green. Go take that high out. You had a deep retest. So you got some extra buyers here. Now use them to continue on. You got 45, 47, and 51. Nice. There's 52. It just, see, this kind of stuff concerns me when it just keeps grinding up and it's just barely taking highs. Like it needs to break. 74. All right, come on. Like it needs a clean breakout. Come on, 64, 68. Our high here is 2174. Strong continuation here. There's an equal high, strong continuation. We don't want to see it hold inside this range. This big 5-minute engulfing candle, we don't want that to hold it in. We want it to fully continue. Man, my limit order still hasn't triggered on that thing. All right, so we got an equal high, needs to continue. Continue here. There we go. New high. All right. Go ahead. 55%, 60%. Now we're getting somewhere. All right, I'm going to take another trim. I'm down to about just under half a size now, guys. All right, so now we have most of our position closed out. We're in pretty good profit here. I think now we're a little more comfortable. We can kind of let it go, do its thing. There's 65%. All right, let me check the chat. Sorry, I know I've been neglecting the chat, but it's worth it to get the wins, right? Right, you got to keep motivating it. It works. Let's see. Gonna head out. NVIDIA new high day again. Yeah, NVIDIA's been nice. I wonder what I think about what. What are we doing with Poet? Probably hold it in the next week, honestly. I mean, it looks good. It went in the money. I think our contracts are positive right now, right? Yeah. I'm just going to sit on it for a while, to be honest with you. I'd like to see it here, like 936, 980, and then up over 10. We got some time, and it's looking solid, so here we go. Come on now. Where's our contracts? There's 75%. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Can it continue, though? And this is the goal with these, right? Especially with QQQ. The way QQQ can move, you know, we want to do exactly what we were doing today. You grind out the position, you trim down profits, you get down to like maybe a third or a quarter of a position size that's mainly risk-free, and then you can get into like a risk-free runner and just let it go, right? So we're in the money now, right? So these contracts are going to gain value much faster. If this thing goes for like the weekly high or something, like, or if it goes for like 26, like, I mean, there's 100% right there. All right, I'm going to a runner at 100%, guys. I'm risk-free. And our winning streak on the YouTube lives continues. We haven't lost one yet. Let's go. How crazy is that? How crazy is that we have not lost one yet here? All right, give me 1 sec. Let me manage a couple things, and then we'll take a look at some individual stocks, right? All right, so we took this high, 2270, 2273. Yep, we sure did. All right, and then this guy. What am I gonna do with this QQQ runner? I kind of want to let it go. Maybe I'll trail it out. What do I want to trail it at, though? You know what? I'll just let it go. Whatever. Watch it later. So here's what we'll do. So we'll go take a look at some stocks. But to do that, I'm going to set an alarm here so I know if we drop. And I'm going to set an alarm up here so I know if we go for the high. If we get up here, we're probably going to be like 200-300%. But I'm good with that. You guys good with that? I'm good with that. All right. Let me get to the chat here. Sorry, I know you guys have been patient, but I hope the win was worth it. Right? Make sure if you got the win, make sure you post it in your gain success profit channel. Tag me, please. If you're on the free side of your server, there you go. You just got made some money to get yourself to cover your membership. Get in there, get some more trades, make some more money. If you're already in one of the membership services, well, we just covered your next month. Let's go. And we do these every week for free. So you guys should be, there's no reason you guys shouldn't be able to get yourselves a membership somewhere. Just somewhere. I'm not promoting any specific one, just somewhere. You know, keep learning, keep improving. All right, so let me check some of the. I'm gonna work backwards in the chat. Sorry. If you made any requests earlier on that I didn't see, throw them up again. Bang, followed you. Thank you for that, Profit. You are very welcome. How often are you live trading on YouTube? Pretty much every Friday. We got to see Nibius. I hate Michael Burry. Oh, is he short Nibius? He's such a jerk, isn't he? I can't stand that guy. I really can't. But all he's doing, we'll take a look at Nibius. All he's doing is looking at high time frame charts, daily, weekly, monthly, right? Like he did it to was it Palantir, I think? What's Cisco doing? Nice bounce for Cisco. Come on. Intel 2. That's what I was talking about. When QQQ broke, everything started breaking with it. So, you know, little cheat code for you guys. If you're looking at a stock, like a tech stock or something, especially the big areas like the semis and all, and you're not sure if it's going to break or drop, Go look at QQQ and get an idea of what the overall market's doing. Look at the VIX, take a look at a heat map, see what sectors are running well, you know, and then it can give you an idea if your stock is going to break, depending on what it is. Wow. There's 120%. Holy crap, look at that thing go now. And to think I was going to cut it down here, huh? All right, so Nibius, sorry, I digress. All right, so he's looking at Nibius on, like I say, like daily, weekly, monthly chart type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, he's just looking for some follow through on this, I think, on this red month, looking for it to probably just test the low. It is developing. So, remember I tried that Lotto long the other day on Nibius, the red line that I have marked here, right? If we go to the weekly chart, it's a little clearer. I marked those highs on the 1 hour, but look at it on the weekly. It just keeps touching it and it can't get through. Well, being that it can't get through this 230 area, that means it's probably going to try lower to pick up some buyers to send it higher. It's got to go pick up some fuel for the rocket, right? So how low will it go? Well, typically prior highs are a good place to check. Here, around like 140. This is a solid retrace area where it came into before, but odds are if it couldn't take these, it's going to go try this low, right? It's going to go try and pick up some buyers in here somewhere. It's just a question of will it bounce before, or is it going to go just a little lower here and then bounce? So we'll see. All right. Affirm. Can you please look at SPY really quick? Yeah, we can take a peek at SPY. So SPY is looking great. Actually, I took a September dated 790 call yesterday at market close. Today, sorry, my phone, I'm looking at it on my phone, it's updating very slowly. Well, we have the 755 call, which is just on fire. It's up like 300% for $1,600 a contract. Our 790s are up 30% already, and they were like $500-600 contracts. So those are solid. So the gist of what we're looking for here, though, I'll give you guys the quick once over here. We're using NFP levels. All these are different monthly NFP levels. This is the beginning of the new one. I'll adjust this as the day goes. But basically, these create levels for the market in the short. There's a little more to it, but now that we've broken above these levels, this was the big sell-off back in June. Now that we've broken above these, see how they held it down? It's looking to create a new level. If it prints today's levels here and then holds above it, it's going to try for 800. And that's where most of the big banks are expecting it to be before the end of the year. So this could be the time where it moves. We just want to see where these levels print today, and then we just want to see early next week hold above those and just go. So that's basically what we're looking for on SPY. So far, so good. The morning was a little blah, but so far, so good. Yeah. Oh, give me one sec, guys. Yeah, I'm on the live. I gotta close this door. Sorry, guys, I'm back. Just checking my router. I don't know why things are updating very, very slowly on my end. So I don't know if it's my internet connection or what. All right, there, QQQ. It's going for the high. And I was thinking about going for 723 calls too. We went 22s, so but we're in pretty good shape here. There it goes. 125% we're looking at there. Solid. back to requests. We looked at SPY. What do you think about Intel? So I'm in a 110 Intel call right now. So I'm in a August 21st, 110. Intel, like a lot of them, are at a spot where it needs to decide what it's going to do. Like, is it going to break through here, or is it going to reject again? So I think it breaks through personally. So I'm looking for like 105, 107, 110, and 112. This is encouraging, right? Because here it's just making, higher highs, higher lows. So we just see you got low, 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 and we want to see that low even higher yet. That would send us up here. So good deal. So yeah, I'm looking for it to break this high and continue on. So I do like the way that Intel, I wasn't liking it so much this morning, but that bounce is encouraging for sure. I'm in now. The stock, I got an expiration 8/14, 130 call. What do you think? So I love now, right now. But it looks like, so again, these are kind of, these ETFs can give you a glimpse into different sectors. This is the semiconductor ETF. So, like NVIDIA, Intel, stuff like that. This is IGV, software. Software has been running hard, right? It's been running hard. Maybe it needs a break. Maybe it keeps going. Or, let me check the market internals. Or maybe we get ourselves an everything rally like we had early this week. Those are the best, when you just slap together a couple tickers and buy them and make money, It's when the market's on easy mode. We like that. So now opened very, very strong this morning. Actually, it ripped overnight. So it's kind of, if we zoom in here on the hourly, this is nice. This is what we want to see, kind of like leg up, consolidate, leg up, consolidate, leg up. We want to see a little more consolidation and then another leg up to 130. The only concern I have with yours is that's a pretty short dated call, and if you don't get a nice gap up over the weekend in your favor, the weekend is gonna, the theta over the weekend is gonna eat your contracts alive. So you got to be pretty precise with those short dated calls. All right, Affirm. I actually am in a put on Affirm. Nice. We saw the rejection, which we wanted to. Now we just need to break this level. It breaks this level and we're golden. These guys here. It breaks this and we're pretty golden. And then it heads much further down here. So actually, if I look at these, and we're long dated too, so we got plenty of time. Not quite green on the 7650s yet, but we're getting close. We're getting close. QQQ hit 723, huh? Oh yeah, it certainly did a couple minutes ago. I didn't even realize that. We're getting a little pullback now. But I might just trail this out. Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I'll let it go for the moment. Let it go for the moment. What's Adobe doing? Yeah, it seems like software is hitting some resistance here, 65 or 65.94, 70. Yeah, because you can see, like, if we go to the 30-minute, you see Adobe's pulled back a little, Now's pulling back a little, but don't get me wrong, like, they just made crazy highs. So a little pullback and bounce is perfectly fine, totally expected. It's just got to hold this level here, that's all. So, all right, what else we got? sales targets. Do you do lives on Discord daily? Somewhere. I do lives on a couple servers. Really only two, but I'm not going to say which here because, you know, again, no promoting here. But I do lives quite a bit on different servers. You know, and excuse me. And some of them are free too, so come find us, and you know, you can find some free ones for sure. And then, you know, decide what you want to do from there. So, what do you think about PayPal? PayPal. That's not one that I trade too often, to be honest with you. What's Apple doing? Ooh, yeesh. There we go, Poet. Keep moving. Zoom. What was that? Man, I forgot already. Oh, PayPal. Am I losing it here or what? All right, so PayPal. Like I said, not one that I trade a whole lot, and it was, I mean, it was pretty weak there for a long time. It's actually still really weak, but so if you zoom out and look, this is a weekly chart. Actually, let's even just go out to the monthly chart on PayPal. That's ugly. Like this right here is the definition of distribution phase. If you don't know what that is, it's like one of the phases of a stock life, basically. Distribution here. Oh no, did we reject? So that was a solid run up. This is why why it's key to get into a risk-free runner, right? So do we take our win here on the runner, or do we try and let it go? You know? We are, I mean, we're still plus 70% here. And if it holds this high, which is where it's testing, right? So it broke through, rejected on this low here, right? Look at my cursor. And now, so it rejected there, now it's coming down and it's testing these highs. If it can hold there and then take this, I mean, these runners can get crazy. So I'm going to let it go because it's risk-free. And even if those contracts go to zero, we still made money on this trade from the ones we trimmed off. We're not going to let it go to zero, but we'll give it some room to maneuver. If it breaks down here, then maybe we'll consider closing it with a smaller profit. All right, so back to PayPal. Sorry, my alarm went off and distracted me. So yeah, this is pure distribution here. All right, trying to create some support, but I mean, it's approaching like, it approached like its all-time low here. Big volume candle there. Was that on earnings now? No, that's prior to earnings. Okay. So, I mean, it could be a buying opportunity if PayPal's really going to get themselves together here. And they tend to have good earnings. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Let me see. Hold on. Let me ask Claude, see if he can help us out. All right, let's see. What can we ask Claude? How long has it been running down here now? Yikes. All right, so let's ask Claude. Scrub PayPal's recent earnings reports and give me an idea why the stock is down so much despite strong earnings. What are investor concerns for the company? Let's see what Claude comes up with. It's probably going to take forever. All right, so chart-wise, like I said, they do, like, look in here, you can see their earnings, you know, the majority of them meet expectations, right? They just, for whatever reason, PayPal seems to be overvalued. So, chart-wise, though, nice gap up, popped over here. This is something I think we need to look at on these lows are going to be tough for it. Watch this area, this 56, 57 area. Look for it to flip that to new support and go would be my best approach. Do I own PayPal? Usually when I have like a green line on the chart like this, that's my entry. So did I buy some and I don't remember? No, I did not. I guess that's there, an old one. Or maybe I set that there for potential support. I was looking for it to hold. So yeah, still see how it was a prior support, right? Bounce, 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 and then it fell through, and it fell through hard. That's what happens when you have a strong support that breaks. You get a big gap like this. It'll fall through hard. So you want to see it reclaim that, test it, and then go. So look for a retest of this area. All right, so I'm actually going to put a note on here and put retest prior key level. All right, let's see what Claude came up with. Here's what's going on with PayPal, pulling together recent earnings history, yada, yada, most recent reports, Q2, weaker near-term quarterly outlook. So their most recent report had decent surprises to the upside. Company guided the next quarter more conservatively than investors wanted. Okay, so their forward guidance isn't what people expect. No update on rumored takeover. Mid-July, reports surfaced that Stripe and Advent International had made a $60.50 per share buy offer. Without any confirmation. That's what's got it moving now. Potential buyout. Broader ongoing investor concerns. Growth sustainability. PayPal's core payment volume growth has been decelerated. Competitive pressure. Block, Affirm, Apple Pay. Yeah, that makes sense. They do have a lot of newer competition. That makes a lot of sense. PayPal's been investing heavily in new initiatives, so analyst sentiment stayed cautious even with the beat. Consensus rating is hold. Summarizing here too, but where things stand now, sentiment has actually been improving since post-earnings dip. Multiple analysts have raised price targets to 60, 59. Stock has seen moderately bullish activity. So the post-earnings drop looks more like a short-term sell the lack of M&A news. So, okay, so this pop recently is on potential buyout news. But it's brought some interest back to it. So it could see, if it can hold this level, it could, it could definitely see some further upside. What's QQQ doing now? This could be a bear flag, and then drop. So got to watch that. All right, so let's see. PayPal, Google. Are you thinking about buying any calls today for next week since the market is down? So I already have a lot of exposure, more than I would typically like to on an NFP day. So I don't know that I'll be looking for any more exposure. And be careful with that. Like I said, NFP days can be tricky. It can and often does give us like an opposite move the following week. So be careful. But it is looking pretty bullish at the moment. Just overall, even before this and then now coming into it. So Google. Yes, take a look at Google. Maybe we can find a day trade on Google too. And Microsoft just died. A firm dropping like a rock. Good to see. What's Cisco doing? Nice bounce for Cisco. Nice bounce for Intel. Nice bounce for Poet. Semis are heating up. 3M. Man, I'm running out of charts here. So I'm watching Google personally. I think that news that dropped it here the other day was just bogus. Like, it's a shakeup that people don't like, right? So for anybody that's not familiar, news came out that Google's basically the head of their AI development, who's been there for like 15 years, decided to leave to head his own startup. So it's a little shakeup at the company, and investors don't tend to like that. But you got to remember too, like, this is Google we're talking about. So yeah, this guy was kind of heading up what they had going on, but it's Google. If you are kind of like on the leading edge of an industry like AI or something like that, what do you say if Google comes to you and says, we would like you to head up, our R&D department? They can get the best people in the world. You know what I mean? It's Google. They're one of the biggest companies in the world, so of course these people are going to go. So I think this this pullback on Google, I think is an opportunity, right? It pushed through these highs. I think it bounces. We want to see it react off this gap and just go. When it popped last time, you can see it ran here up at the highs. When it finally broke the highs here, it did something similar, not as harsh, but it did. It pulled back, little sideways action, and then off it went. And this is common. When you see how the moving averages are grouping together, when you get a gap up and then come down and retest it, it happens a lot. Like, it retests it, now they're just trying to get stacked back in the proper direction. The purple one is the 20. That just needs to turn up, and then everybody's in the right direction, and off we go. I'm actually going to be looking closely at Google. I know I just said I probably wasn't going to take any more exposure, but I would consider, see, Google's trying to hold this key level. It holds this, and it goes. I may get back into my 400 calls. We hit those for like 200%. I may get back in them now. I do like Google. What's QQQ looking like? Yeah. It's going to consolidate a bit. I may think about getting out here. Where are our contracts at? They got to be doing pretty well, right? 80% right now. Let me check the internals. Yeah, I mean, everything's still rising. I think this might be might turn into one of those kind of like gamma grind type days, if you guys are familiar, like Monday and Tuesday. It's very unvolatile, but it just grinds up. Those are great for the portfolio. Not great for day trading, but they're great for the portfolio. Yeah, and that's kind of what it looks like on the GEX tables. Yes, this is going to go a little lower. So it's doing the same thing here that it did here. It needs to hold that low. I don't want to see, I don't want to see it take out that low there, 2205. All right, so I moved my alarm up a little bit. I would like to see it hold that low. If it doesn't, then it's going to come down this way and try here, and that takes us well out of the money. We don't want that. Actually, let's see, this close back towards 23 would be ideal. All right, so let's watch this for a second, then we'll get back to looking at some stocks. There you go, close strong. Now keep going. ranging going on here. So I kind of saw it here when it made this lower high. Oh, I may want to go lower here. We don't want to do that. We want to see it bounce here. If it's going to go lower, we'll just get out, take our profits, and walk. And then let's see, what was the other requests? I'll try and get those up. Google, any more options today? Yeah, I'm going to look for another one. As we go through these stock charts, I'm going to look for maybe something on an individual stock. I think the index opportunities might be done for the day. You know, as the volatility dies down, it becomes much harder to trade those, but stocks can be traded for sure. Oh, did I call out the 300%? Yeah, the 755s? Absolutely. I posted those. Absolutely. Any thoughts on Dell? Yeah, Dell has been strong recently. All right, on the daily. Now, here's something to keep in mind too, guys. When you're looking at like day trades, especially on stocks, this is the average true range, ATR. You want to take a look at that. It gives you an idea of how much each ticker moves on a given time frame. So this is a daily chart on Google or on Dell. So on the day, Google on average moves just under 35 points. So from high to low, that's 32 points. So it's basically already filled its volatility for the day. So most likely it's going to move inside where the candle currently is already. So keep that in mind. On the weekly, typically moves about 54 points. This is well outside of that already, so you can keep that in mind too. But this is kind of building a liquidity layer here, right? If it can hold this level, this can be a solid support for a further move up. That's a good sign off the moving averages. That could be a solid retest. And it's bouncing. Yeah, 485s could be good for this later. Looks solid though. As long as it continues to hold this level, you got to see it start taking some of these out. So right now, if we go to a lower time frame, you can see it's been kind of just consolidating down, lower highs and lower lows, but it's not a sharp sell-off like this or like this. This is more of a consolidation, right? So it moves down, looks for somewhere to bounce. Doesn't quite get there, moves a little further, moves a little further, finds something here, nice bounce, doesn't quite make it. So this is more likely its area off of these prior highs. So it's got to get over this. Once it gets over this area, like the 450, it should have some room to run. Well, looks like we might stop out of our runners here. Let's see if it's going to hold or not. We're still well in profit. We're still almost 70%. And that's what's nice. Like I said, once you get in the money, your value holds much easier. And we're coming up on a new hour. So let's let the hour change. Even if it hits this, I might just let the hour change over. Let me see something. I saw somebody mention OKLO. Wow. Look at you go. Up 15% on the day. Okay. Yeah, we might still hold up here. All right, so we'll let that go. What was the next request here? Google, Dell, Palantir. Can you have a look at Palantir and see if it's stabilizing? Sure, we can look at Palantir. Wow, look at that go. Holy crap. So Palantir's definitely overextended, I would say. Yeah, typically moves about 19, 20 bucks. It's up about 50 on the week. So it's quite the range, quite the breakout too. Looks solid. Got a little ways to run still before it really hits like a, well, no, it's probably about there now. You can see the green cursor coming up under these. So it's going to be, it might be at a bit of a resistance now. So be careful with the spot where it's at now. But I could see it pulling back to retest a little bit, like retest the 55-60 area in here and then go. But it's got some crazy strength right now, so who knows? All right, so new hours open. If it can hold this level, the 722 level, it could definitely keep moving. I think it's going to take it though. Five. Huh. So that was an inside candle in the 15. The 30 was a consolidation. Yeah, I mean, it's holding this level. We'll see. See if it keeps holding or not. Let it go. Keep moving. All right, so firm. Joined late. So we're not at, we're in a runner for QQQ right now. We took a, someone was asking about the positions. We took, actually, when you look back, it's kind of killer actually. So we took our 722 calls about here in this area. And it pulled back a little. We went a little red, and then it's just started grinding up from there. So we got a good spot. We almost ticked the bottom on that. We did pretty well. And it's trying to hold that. So let's see what else we got. So yeah, somebody has the position. So that's the only position we're in. We're down to a runner, so I wouldn't chase it now. Yeah, thoughts on Google. We looked at. We're still in the poet swing. Can we do a new trade? I'm going to look for sure. Oh, is it firm dropping more for us? Is that what's happening? Sure is. Look at it go. We got a little ways to go, but we still have a month on our contract. We want to see it break through here. You know, a breakthrough like 75.50. Gold. Pure gold. All right. All right. Wow, check that out. All right, so what was the next request? So yeah, no, I'm still sitting on that QQQ. You're very welcome for the QQQ call. I think we're getting through most of the requests here. How frequently do you stream here? Usually like once a week. AAOI, they just had, we'll take a look at that. And I think there was also requests for the optics. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. Light and COHR. Yeah, so AOI, they had earnings last night, right? Yeah. Nice surprise on earnings. And they popped a bit. Another solid week. A lot of these companies are having solid weeks. So similar to others, they're taking out highs, it's pushing on the lows. Pretty extended on the week already. So I think a lot of these are kind of going to take a breather to end the week. It's kind of creating this, like this layer of support here, ideally, is what it's looking to do. It's looking solid, though. If it can hold this area, it could definitely go further. So, I mean, even this would be solid if you wanted to do some shares. All right, so yeah, to like the 200-ish area. I hate it when it does that. There we go. So kind of like that. It's still a little over 2 to 1. You could even move this up a little if you wanted to. So you could try that and then maybe hold some runner shares to see if it goes through the high or not. Or you can wait, give it a little time. Like I said, I don't know that it's going to see much more upside today. So you'd be banking on a gap up over the weekend. But you could always wait till Monday, see if you get, so maybe on Monday you get a gap down to just to kind of test this body on the weekly. So you get that lower wick and then go. That might be an opportunity there. I just had a Rocket Lab alarm go off. That's another one that's looking solid. Very solid. They just picked up a contract with Space Force. That's kind of propelling them recently. They got to get through here, but they're looking good. Definitely looking solid. All right, let me check the other requests. And I am looking for another trade as we do this, guys. So, yes, we're going to try. Oh, that's right. We're going to look at light. I've been watching that. It was on my breakout watch list, and I just never pulled the trigger, and I'm kicking myself because there's a couple days where it would have done well. But now it's really looking to break out. A lot of these could have big gaps up over the weekend. They really could with the way they're sitting. I think, like, here, let me look at the, like we just talked, yep. We just talked about the average true range, right? So if we look at light, its weekly average range is just over 150, right? And it's at like 250. So it's definitely pretty extended on the week. It's had a solid week, which is part of the reason why we're not seeing much more out of it. It got really extended early in the week, so it doesn't have much room left. But next week is a different story. So we could really, and a lot of the charts look like this. So we could definitely see some upside out of these types of companies come Monday. Could they gap down first? Absolutely. You get a quick pullback to test this gap and go. You figure this gap's at like 793, which would be like here. Wait, did I see that right? 793. That looks pretty deep. Yeah, around 800. So pull back to like the 800 area, which would give this its lower wick. Right? Every candle has some kind of bottom wick. I mean, most do. But you figure it pulls back to 8. If it's got an average range of about 155, it pulls back to 8. That gives it an upside around here or so. But it's another one that looks solid, right? It's taking out resistance. It's trying to get through this prior support area here, but it looks pretty good. Wow. That's right. I've looked at a few of these, and they have earnings coming up, unfortunately. Makes them tougher to trade. Look at that candle. Wow. But like we said, they definitely can move, like they can get overextended compared to what they usually have. But wow, look at that. Right on the 200-day moving average. So this has got some serious momentum right now. It's got earnings coming up next week, though, which kind of limits what we can do with it. But, yeah. I'm surprised. Everything's kind of slow today. What's your biggest position in a long-term stock? That's a good question. So I have a lot of Rocket Lab. I have a lot of Robinhood. Google. Oh, here's one of my favorite stocks. I actually just alerted this the other day. to the servers that have my long-term content is ARM. We entered, I mean, man, did we enter in the right place. We entered at the close of this day here. So, I mean, inside a few days, we're up like 60 bucks a share, 50 bucks a share, something like that. We're up nice on ARM, and we just got started. So I'm looking for ARM to move back towards 400. Really like this stock. It's got a lot of momentum, so it's not a slow mover by any stretch, and it's just a solid company overall. Technically, excuse me, the chart lines up too. So we're seeing this again, right? Just like we saw here. We're seeing that consolidation. Now the question is it going to break the consolidation, or is it going to go take the low and try and consolidate further? We want to see it break, obviously. We want to see it break the 723-ish area. What's the plan on the Intel trade? I'm sitting on it for now. It's got some time. But it breaks this high, and I think it runs. Everything is lining up to run. Everything, it seems like, is lining up for either a big move up or just another stinking rejection. So the question is this where we break and run? You know, I think we do after the crazy week we had, but you never do know. You never know what kind of news could drop over the weekend. Any thoughts on AVEX? Earnings are next week, but it's run up a lot lately. I'm not familiar with that one. Let me look here. AVEX. AVEX. What is AVEX? Wow, it has run, hasn't it? So it's on the smaller size. It's a mid cap. Operates holding company. Operates through tactical systems and global solutions segments. Tactical systems segment focuses on design, development, production of autonomous systems, including unmanned aerial, unmanned surface vehicles. So it's a drone company, basically. All right. Fairly new. It's running well, though. Huh. Interesting. Actually, let's do this. We'll go from this high to the recent low. So it looks like it's probably lining up to try this gap. It is going to hit some resistance here, though. So if it can actually it did. Looks like it broke through here. Let me zoom in for you a little bit. Nope, that's not great. Wow, SpaceX is cooking today. So if you're looking at this, right, prior low area, let me make that solid, and we'll zoom in on it. So here was a prior support-ish area, right? Bounced on it once, broke through, came back up, touched it again. So tried to make it support, couldn't, broke through. Now that's going to be a potential resistance area. And as you can see, how it kind of curled up against it, finally broke through, and then retested it and bounced. So it's already had its retest. This could easily be well on its way right now. So this is a good catch, actually. I mean, I'm not sure where you saw this, but, you know, so also we've talked about it before. If you're going to go long, you need to know where the short sellers are. If you want to be a bull, you got to know where the people are that are going to try and hold you up. Where are the bears? Well, doing a retrace from left to right, high to low, short sellers would be looking in this area and this area. So 30 bucks is probably about the upside for this. Right, so if you want to enter here, your stop would be right under that level, right? If it breaks back through this level, you stop out. Upside is here, right? With a potential runner up to there, but that's like a 3-to-1. That's a solid setup right there. Solid setup. One sec. pinging me, but they're not saying why. So yeah, this one's pretty solid actually. Let me see. Does it have an options chain? Maybe not, but let me look and see. Let's look and see. I mean, it's a small cap, so odds are it doesn't, but you can do like equity leaps. Yeah, so not a whole lot. Only August, September. Yeah, not a whole lot of open interest. So you'd have to play, if you played options on this, you would have to do like in the money type. So, but shares aren't too expensive. You can go with shares on this. This is a solid one, actually. It looks pretty good. Downside is just it's already had this big straight run up with no pullback, so I would be concerned that it might want to pull back and test this first. So that would be the safe thing, right? So you set an alarm here, and so we put retest if confirmed long equity to $30. That's the safe play. All right, AVAX, biggest light core. We're going to do another trade. We're going to try thoughts on Celsius. We'll take a look at that in a second. Apple, we took a peek there too. Marvel, Google, SPY. What indicators do you use? So I got a ton of indicators on here. I use different ones at different times for different things. My suggestion would be this. Start with your moving averages, right? Simple moving average pinned to your daily chart, right? So here, I'll show you. Here's a quick lesson, right? So you want to go in here and just type simple, click on simple moving average, right? That's going to give you, actually, I'll show you no, I'll just show you in here. That's going to pop it up here. I think it comes up, I forget what it comes up with, but you click on it here, you go to settings, right? There's 3 that you want. You want the 20-day, the 50-day, and the 200-day. Those are the ones that everyone uses, basically. But most importantly, professional traders, institutional traders use those. That's what so you want to see what they're seeing. The more people that see it, the more likely it is to be true. Now, here's the one big change, right? When you're looking to trade equities and you're looking to trade options, swing options, you want to go down here where it says time frame. It's going to come on chart. That's not what you want. You want to go down here to 1 day and you pin it to the day. And what that does is, here, I'll show you in a second. Then you can go into style and pick your color, right? So what that does is it pins it to the daily chart. So no matter what it shows here on the daily, when you go to a lower time frame, it's still there. So it's going to make it easier for you. So you see it on the daily, and when you zoom in to find your entry, then you'll see where it's at there. When you zoom in for your entry on a lower time frame, the moving averages won't move with the time frame. It stays on the daily, which is what you want to follow. Let's see what this is going to do here. This is an important level. It needs to hold, or we might just cut our runners. Give it a sec. What am I looking for? Okay. All right. QQQ. Need to see the bounce here. So it's not a surprise that it's consolidating further down, being that it couldn't take this, couldn't take that out. but we want to see it hold, right? We don't want to see it come down here. There we go. Come on. Now we don't want to see a rejection here. A lot of volume coming in. Why is there so much volume coming in? It needs to take this high. Don't want to see it drop. It's got to hold. New 5-minute candle. Took that high. Come on. And look at that. The first minute in this 5 has already matched the prior candles. A lot of volume there. Come on, hold green. That was interesting. I wonder if everything did that. Did everything tick up in volume? Sure did. Sure did. I wonder why. Well, not everything. NVIDIA didn't get it. Now turning up nicely. Interesting. It's high volume like this guy right here. So that tells us that most likely what that was unless there was there some kind of news? No. Most likely it hit an area of interest. So buyers and sellers are kind of fighting it out there. Yep. All right, I think I'm going to punch out of the QQQ. Let me take a peek at it real quick. Yeah. All right. This is the level here, though. No, we're already here, so I might as well give it a second, I guess. This is the level of the retest here. It's going to bounce. This is where it needs to do it. It's going to bounce. This is where. That What's SPY doing? Yeah, SPY has gotten pretty quiet compared to QQQ today. A lot of volume in QQQ. SPY is just steadily grinding up, though, it looks like. Yeah, that's not a great sign there. When you get this consolidation at the top and then the push down. Yeah. All right, I'm all out of QQQ here, guys. And then SPY is doing what? Yeah. Let me alert that real quick. Oops. Yeah, I can't type. Nice trade, though. Solid trade. Get all out of my. I had an SPY runner too from before we got on. That was a solid win too. So got all out of that. All right, so now that we are all out of those, let's see what else we can find here. Yes, I'm still in the poet position. Poet is doing just fine. Wow, look at a firm. Very nice. Very, very, very nice a firm is. That looks good for our positions. All right, so let's look around. Let's see if we can find another trade for the day, huh? Thoughts on entry for light, COHR, or coherent, or Corning? Well, let's take a look. We looked at Light and Coherent. I do like Corning also, but they all look pretty much the same, right? They're all very similar. Yeah. Similar charts, similar setups. Yeah, they're all very similar. So, if you're going to trade those, my recommendation would be pick one that you like the most, or spread out. So let's say you have $1,000 you're willing to put into the market, right, for a single. I mean, all other things aside, like you have other investments, but you're looking to buy in like the optics type. You can either spread out a little bit in each, or pick one you like the most. But I wouldn't recommend putting like your whole portfolio into that one sector or one area, because it's kind of all or nothing at that point. You're very overexposed. If it rips, you're golden, right? But if it drops, if you get it wrong, it's going to hurt bad because you're overexposed to one particular area, right? So, uh, PayPal update. We just looked at PayPal. What's PayPal doing? Yeah, he's trying to hold these prior highs, right? So, still got a shot at bouncing. Definitely does. Let me see here. And Bishop caught SpaceX this morning, and SpaceX just ripped. Solid morning though. Let's see. So yeah, I mean PayPal, it needs to hold these prior highs. So it needs to hold where it is. And again, I try to hold on to positions when I can on NFP days, because you just don't know. You don't know, like, that position could easily just totally reverse, right? So unless like it's something really crushes my stop loss, I'll hang out, right? I try to, like, I'll take trims, of course. If it hits a trim area, hits a target, take your trims. But I try not to stop out if possible. Like I said, unless I absolutely have to. Nice bounce on Cisco. Intel. It's a nice bounce here on Intel. Now it needs to hold where it is and bounce from there. Well, guys, as much as I would like to get another trade today, honestly, I was expecting more volatility today from NFP, and it's just not there. It's more of just like a grind out type of day. Yeah, only one, but that one is crazy good. Yeah, I would like to do more, but it looks kind of, whoops, kind of grinding out today. And the volume's it, and that's the problem. For day trades, for options day trades, you need volume, right? If it's gonna just grind, it's gonna screw you. So we need volume, and that's why I was excited for NFP. I thought we'd have more volume, more volatility, but we did get a good win, right? We got a solid win. We kept our winning streak going, and hopefully everybody learned something too, right? I don't mind teaching you guys, asking questions, right? So, and it's all free, right? You can't beat that. Can't beat that. Intel update. We just did that. I'm looking for that. Scott, what do you think about CFD? Like cash for difference? Or are you talking about, is that an actual ticker? Talking about cash for difference, I assume? Yeah, I assume you're talking about cash for difference. So that's more of like a outside the states type of thing. I did do that. I used to trade Forex and crypto and stuff. It's just easier to, honestly, it's typically just easier to trade futures and stocks, ETFs. I don't really mess with the cash for difference much anymore. Yeah, I mean, even SPY right now is kind of wholly flat on SPX. I mean, what is that about? Do I have the wrong chart or what? Like, what is happening here? Why is that so flat? Oh, okay, that was the close yesterday. I'm like, what is happening? That was wild. So, yeah, pull back. Yeah, see, so we got out at the right time. We made the right decision, for sure. For sure. All right, well, let's see. Is there any other chart requests? Otherwise, I think I'm going to call it. What trades have you made today so far? So we just took a QQQ 723 call that hit about 125%. So that was our trade for the day. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be the only one. So things are pulling back, but again, it's an NFP day, so who knows where it's going to end. We can take a look at Tesla real quick. Hold on. So someone asked about Tesla and AMD. Tesla ran up nicely this morning. Firm's dropping. Wow. There's the rejection we were looking for. So we want to learn. We always want to keep learning, right? I've been doing this for like 10 years, but I'm always trying to learn. And we can all get a little overeager. We see a setup and we like it and we want to take it. But sometimes patience is the best route. So with a firm, I was looking for this head and shoulders type play, right? With this gap being the other shoulder. But when it pushed up here, I got in here because it was kind of close to what I thought would be the other shoulder. But really the other shoulder, can be either of those. So basically, I had it right, but if I was more patient, so I got in here and I added in here somewhere, right? If I was patient and I waited for it to touch the gap and I entered here, I mean, we'd be up huge right now. But position's playing out. Yeah, the position's playing out pretty well. Yeah. All right, so the other request was AM. Oh, so Tesla's actually looking fairly strong. It may want to try and fill that gap. I'd watch this into the end of the day here, to be honest with you. I'm going to put this on my watch list. I'm going to have to clear some of this stuff. I'll have to go through this and look. Someone asked about AMD too. Well, so Tesla, it's retested. So it broke up. It's retesting these highs. If we can get into the end of the day, right, if we can get a bounce off of that and a strong close, can look for typical weeks about 40. It's a little short this week. So it's going to close about 30. So yeah, I mean, we could look for maybe 350s at this low to swing over the weekend. Tesla's a solid look for the weekend. AMD pulling back. Ugly week. It did take out the high on the week. So, and then rejected. Probably going to end in a consolidation week. But it can't seem to get over this area here. It's got a bit of a support here, which might break. See it? That's where it's been holding so far. If it breaks that support, this could be a put contender. Especially if it breaks through here, then it's probably going to go 450-ish, maybe lower. I'm going to put this on the list. Well, it's already on the list, but actually, yeah, I'll put it on this list even though it's kind of a put setup. So, yeah. All right, so Tesla, we looked at Tesla, AMD. So be careful. Scott, what do you think about calls on NVIDIA for some date post earnings? So post earnings, so there's a couple ways to look at this, right? So if you're looking at earnings, which is the 26th, if you're looking at earnings as kind of like an event that's going to cause that volatility, buying buying calls post earnings is going to give you lower volatility, so lower IV on the contracts. So typically those contracts are going to be a little cheaper, but they're also not going to move. I mean, they're not going to be as volatile, which for me, I don't mind. I kind of prefer that. So looking at, actually, NVIDIA's got pretty low volatility, to be honest with you. What was its date again? The 26th. So, so their volatility actually increases after earnings, which is kind of odd. But so as far as what do I think of them, I mean, NVIDIA's had a solid week. We hit a monster NVIDIA trade this week too. That was like $1,000 or like $1,200 a contract or something we made on that. That was a good one. But overall, so look at it this way. Let me kind of clean this up a little bit. I know it's probably looks like a rainbow threw up on my chart. So let's get it a bit cleaned up here. All right. So I got a retrace tool on here. That's okay. So this was NVIDIA's prior range, right? It bounced around in here for quite a while, right? From middle of November until middle of April. It's like 5 months it kind of chopped around in here. Hopefully we don't get that again. But look what happened when it broke, right? Broke out, kind of had a little sideways movement, broke, and then it came back and retested. Once it retested the top of that range and confirmed, off it went. So this is a perfect example of what we've been talking about, how prior highs, prior resistance can become one of your best supports. Here it is here. I mean, it's clearly visible what it did here, right? And bounce. Came down. So now we got it range in here, but again, range, boop, 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 boop to the range. Now here we are. Broken out. I think we're maybe about at this stage. I think it might have another push in it, kind of like here, like new all-time high. So I think it might have another push in it first towards the high, so maybe like 240s. Yeah. Let me look at this on the weekly in terms of when it broke out. So, it's a tough one. It went kind of sideways for a while. So the question is, where in the breakout process are we? Are we here? Are we here or are we up here? I think it probably gets some follow through next week, to be honest. So kind of looking for the highs on NVIDIA. So maybe a 240. Their typical week is about, this is saying about 17 points. Not this week though. This week's more like 30. So another 30 points off of this week would take us well through the high. Or, even that a typical week at like 17 points would take us through the high. So I actually may use some of my profits from the prior NVIDIA trade and roll them up to a further strike. QQQ rebounding a bit, somebody said. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Testing these highs, which it did here before, so it's still kind of a higher low. That's tough though. Like I said, this is the volatility I kind of expect from an NFP day. You know what I mean? For sure. So I may look at NVIDIA at the end of the day. Wait, do I have NVIDIA on my watch list? Put that up under Tesla. Google, I'm just going to move back to my regular old green list. Let's go through this real quick. Bloom, I missed out on opportunity on Bloom. Bloom's kind of rejecting here though, so that I'm going to put back on the green list too. SMH, I've been watching this and I just haven't seen, like I know it's going to break. I just haven't seen what I want out of it, but this might be it. Right, you see how it's kind of just trending higher, higher? It's going to break that 590 area at some point. So I think where it's struggling with right now, though, is like here. This could be it, though. So I may start the position like a small starter like I've done in the past with IGV. Because IGV, I don't know if IGV gets through this high, to be honest with you. This was a strong bounce out of it, but I don't know what it does from here. I still have my $95 runner. That's up like, what's that at? If anybody's still holding that with me. That IGV runner is plus 190% for $500 a contract. So it's actually down a little bit from where it was here, but I still have it in case it runs a little higher. Yeah. Nice, the 6750 Affirm puts are green again. We'll lifeline on those. All right, so back to my watch list. So I'm going to leave SMH on it. Intel, I'm going to move because we already stepped into a trade on that. Light is on there. It's another one. Like, it definitely, it's there. After that big week, you could easily see some continuation, but it's in a tough spot. I'll leave that on there. Nibius is kind of hurting right now. Let's move that. Oracle, man, look at Oracle. Look at where this is at. This here, like it's trying to break these guys. If it does, next stop's like 160 and then about 180. 22 points. So it's still a little low in its weekly range. I like Oracle for next week. I do. LRCX is another one I've been watching. That's kind of like the pick and shovel type trade. But unfortunately, this is the area that we've seen rejected so many times for a lot of these stocks, and it just concerns me. I would need to see it push hard at the high, and it might go. Dell, look at that hammer candle on Dell right now. If that holds, man, talk about a retest, like a retest of its moving averages. Dell could be a big one. Watch how this closes. Seriously, if it comes back towards here, yeah, Dell, we're going to move up here. Just under Tesla, I think. AMD's our potential put setup. So that's where we're at right now. I may add a few. I'll share that watch list with everybody. Here, actually, I'll do this. So I'm going to send it out. And you can hold on to this link, and each time you click on it, like it should show you like my updated list as I change it. So you can watch that. You can follow me on TradingView. Thoughts on TTWO? Do you think the release of GTA 6 is already baked into the price, or will it rise? I was looking at that not long ago, and the chart looked decent. Maybe that's why. Wow, look at you. There's another one that's, wow. Okay. Looking solid. Oh yeah, look at the week on this guy. 17 points. Okay. So it's trying to hammer out on the week. What I mean by that is a hammer candle, right? So it dropped and it tested low, but now it bounced hard. It's trying to close green. Where did it open the week? Opened at about 46. Yeah, so it's close. This one actually looks really good. Right? So kind of like this. And it just had a hard bounce back at this. This could break easily. It's a nice catch. I have this on a watch, like on a list somewhere. It's just I use a lot of alarms and things to kind of keep me updated. So 250s, maybe the high, 265s. This could be a good one for today. This one actually, I'm going to put this on the list. This one may go to the top of the list, actually. This looks solid. I'm going to look up some contracts on this, but this looks pretty good for a potential swing over the weekend. I am going to post more TikToks. It's on the, it's on the list. I got a lot of things to do, but you're absolutely right. I need to start posting more regularly. And when I do, I will share that, my profile and all, with you guys that don't have it yet. Because I know there's a lot of you that are a little newer to following me. That's what I thought. Post more TikToks. Watch list for next week. That's the list I just put up there. Any thoughts for AAOI long term? Yeah, I think the AI bubble is not a bubble. Like it's a real thing. It's a real movement, and AAOI is one of those ones that's solid. So look at it this way. I tell people all the time, you can't keep chasing companies like NVIDIA. Are there going to be trades for NVIDIA? Absolutely. Absolutely, you'll find trades. But, the big returns for equity trades is going to be in companies like LRCX, AAOI, Light, Coherent. When you hear about all this CapEx spending, like we see these big companies dump on great earnings, right? And the reason for that is they're spending. They're spending so much. Meta was one of the first ones to get crushed because of it. So you want to look for, follow the money. Always follow the money. Where's that money going? You don't want the companies that are spending all that money. You want the companies that are receiving that money, right? The companies that are receiving that money are the ones that are going to see massive growth because they have huge revenue coming in. They're going to have higher profits, higher margins, like, expansion, growth. That's what you want. You want companies that are growing, not the companies that have already hit their peak and that are spending more to grow. You want the companies that are receiving the money and seeing that exponential growth, for sure. Peep Dell. Man, we just looked at Dell. Dell does look solid. It's on the watch list here. It's near the top. That's a solid rebound for Dell this morning. Solid. So let's set an alarm here. If it can break through towards like the 450 area, actually, can we maybe get a day trade on Dell? So you gotta be careful though that it's not just gonna reject off that high. Let me take a look at Dell. Let's take a look at a contract or two. So day trade today on Dell. 450s. Hold on, let me look at more contracts. All right, so we could either wait. This would be a lotto, by the way, because there's not even a whole lot of time left in the day. So see if it's going to hold this high and then go for the 450s just to see if it'll run through, or you can wait for it to break, which eats up more time. See, it's got to get through here. If it breaks there, it's definitely going to 450. This too is that. This is a tough spot for it too. 55s, or we could look at next week. This one could swing over the weekend for sure. They're kind of expensive for lottos though, unfortunately. The 450s are about $200 each. 55s are about $100. They get a wider spread though. I do kind of like those 450s though. If you guys want to try them, this gap. What's QQQ look like? Is that going to break? If QQQ is going to break, I might try that Dell. I mean, it's got some room to push up to here. That's the tough area for it. And I do like that Dell. I do. It's starting to move without us. Oh, should I do it? I might. As I'm hesitating, it's just running further and further. And this is what I do. I told you guys before. I hesitate on this stuff and it just eats me alive. Then I get mad. I'm like, what the hell? 5750s somebody took. Wow, and they're up 100% already. Huh. Interesting. So give us a little pullback here. Just a little pullback and test. I don't think it's going to, is it? With that open. 48.41. 48.50. 50. Let's try a trend fib. Sorry, I'm reading news as it comes in. Trend-based fib. 2-minute chart. All right, so that looks solid. Oh, it's already at its high. So the extension would be 51. So what we want to see here, rather than take the overextension, that's a higher risk, right? We want to see it pull back here, test this, right? Because if we got that, and we could get something like this, right? There, and then like here-ish, that would be solid. Because then you don't have much of an extension to get to our strike that we're looking at. So a little pullback here towards like 447, 446 would be solid. So pull back, bounce, and go. Yep, pull back here, and then the next 5 minutes sends it through. That would be ideal. That would be ideal. What's a 3-minute look like? Oof. Not so great. And that's the concern. If you get a pullback on a higher time frame, I mean, it could pull back as far as here, and then we're kind of cooked, right? We're holding deep red. So we'll give it a little bit of time. Let it tell us what it's going to do here. That would be solid. 30-minute pullback and then go. Hourly's getting ready to close. And this would be a day trade, so we got to be careful. You either need to stay on top of it, or we need to trade something closer into the money. What's the day look like on Dell? Wow, look at that day. Low to high. It's about 30 points. Oh, wow. So it's actually got some extension left in it. It could do this. So low to high is about, we'll call it 35. Yeah, so a full 35 on the daily range would take us right just into the money, like 351-ish. So if we just look for a good entry here, we could be in good shape. Hour close is solid, little pullback, and then go. That is doable for sure. Just a question of when is it going to. Now this, the only problem too is it's low volume right now. So low volume now. Oh, tell me it's going to go right now. Oh, it's a new 5-minute candle. Yeah, this is a tough one, guys. I really do like it, but the entry's tough. Might be better off looking at a swing for this, right? So, like, or you know, let me check something. Let me check something here. Looky here, looky here. Demon. Who's pinging me in the chat? We should just be in here. Who's pinging me? Somebody's saying something about firm, CCJ, 3M, chop, chop, chop. Everybody's chopping on us. What was it? Oh, he said something about Home Depot. The old Depot. Yeah, it's doing okay, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going without us, guys. I mean, we can certainly risk it if you guys want to look for the follow through now, but I think, yeah. Let me see. Let me look at the actual contract, because the contract's not really gaining much as I watch it here. Yeah, let me show you something. It's based on the 5-minute. 10:35. Where was it? 10:35 this morning. Wait, that can't be right. That was yesterday. All right, so today, 17. Yeah, that's a tough one. So for anyone who's not familiar, let me show you something. This is a chart. I'm going to post a picture for you. Here is a chart of the actual, right? So this is the, oh no, I want it. Oh, well, let me post pictures? Why won't let me post pictures? Well, I had a picture of the actual contract chart here for you guys, but it's not letting me post it for you. I share a link. I don't know that I can. But anyway, so I'm looking at the value of it, right? And it kind of bottomed out this morning at like $10, right? And then it peaked 1205. It peaked at about 217. So right here, it hit 217. Now it's at its highest point of the day. You know, it's only running to like 250. So what we need is, if we're going to do this, we need to catch it when it runs in the money. we need to see it make a new high. And then that contract, what was this, yesterday, 10:30? So it's 4:55. So yesterday at 10:30, holy crap, that was worth about $1,300. I think if we get it right, it could run as high as maybe like $6, right? But we would need to catch it and see it run past here, you know, towards like these lows here, basically towards like 54. Does it have the volume to do it? I don't know. But if it's going to go, this is the chance here with the new hour. Close 48, 48.1, so this kind of pull back and go. We want to see it pull back in here, maybe. Nah, that's not going to do it, is it? Yeah, it's a tough one, guys. I think I'm going to pass on it. I was looking at 450 calls for today. The downside is just too big. You know, like those contracts can get crushed. You know, to give you an idea, so like just right here at 54, 1254, let me change up my chart. 1227. So here, I'll give you an idea. So like here, near its low, that contract was only worth like $70, right? So, I mean, just to pull back and if we were to enter here and it pulls back and retests here, that contract is going to be like half of it's going to be gone, and that's like $100 a contract. So that's a little concerning, especially with the volume so low right now. It's just, it's not there. If anything, I would say we watch this, and Dell is pretty high on our list. We watch it for a confirmation of this recovery, and if it can recover this 450 area, then we play it into next week to like 460. I think that would be a good setup. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, DocU. Yeah, I was looking at that too. Let me check this guy here. Set you there. Let's clear this chart up. Oof. All right, let's get it left to right, low to high. Get just a little base of what we're looking at. Yeah, so this has pulled back almost all the way to the low here. So if we were to look at it the other way, high to low as short sellers, 50% range is still in here around 70, 75. That's the most likely area. Both sides are looking at that. Or short from 82. This is a tough one. It hasn't been the strongest, but it's trying to recover. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's gotta. It's got strength. Got plenty of strength right now. It's a matter of where does it go. So probably the 70 area is next. Yeah, up underneath here. It's almost there. So look for it to struggle a little here, maybe retest and then go. Oh, let me see. And what else? Oh, there was another one I was looking at. Maybe this is what I was thinking of, this guy. He's had some crazy strength recently too. This might be pulling back a little further first. Yeah. All right. Any more requests here? We got money to spend. We all got money to spend. Nothing yet. Maybe something soon. CLS, please. All right. So let's take a look at that, and then I think I'm gonna call it. Not familiar with this one. 36 billion. Provision of supply chain solutions globally to equip manufacturers and service providers that operates through the advanced technology solutions, connectivity, and cloud service segments. Okay, so it's kind of like in that software-ish, software infrastructure. Okay. Got solid earnings going all the way back here. Meeting expectations. Wow, that's solid run up in the last couple years. Like straight up. This was a good one to buy in 2022, apparently. Holy crap. From $8 to 474. Holy crap. 4 years, huh? It's a pretty good return. Like 5,000%. And that, so it retraced. Well, no, it didn't retrace the whole move, but half the move, I should say. The daily's starting to show a little weakness, actually. See here, it's trying to hold this. If it can't hold this, then it's probably going to head here, maybe to like 200, and then under that is 140, 150. It's an interesting one, though. So, all right, guys. Any calls for the weekend? There's a few I'm looking at. I'll put them up later. But I am looking at a few things. We got our watch list here, and I may add some things to it, and we will go from there. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks again for coming. We kept our streak alive, 125% today on QQQ. Nice trade. Sorry, I really thought we'd see more volatility and we could get more trades in today, but one win is a solid one. Any long-term positions you're excited about? Yeah, so we looked at ARM. I like ARM. I like Google, despite the scientist leaving. I think it's just a bounce type opportunity. And I've started buying into this, right? For those of you that like the fundamental AI type trades, CCXI. Ignore the whole name, the Churchill Capital Corp. This is basically like a special merger type company. So if you're familiar with the name Agility Robotics, Agility is going to be the first and only so far U.S. pure like humanoid robotics company, right? So they're kind of in that niche of the AI market. So they're going to merge with this special merger company, and that's how they're going to reach the public market. They're not going through an IPO. They're going through this merger. And they recently got a boost from a decision by, I think it's the FCC, to ban all Chinese humanoid type and other type robotics in the US. So in the US, like this will be the only public company, and a lot of the most competitive outside companies in this area of tech have been banned just because of potential spy stuff and all that. So this is, I think the merger is going to happen later this year sometime. I have to find exactly when, but I'm buying just kind of small portions at a time. I've started buying down here under 15. So we're already up like 25, 30%. So I do like this one long term. It's speculative, but if you like kind of those edge AI plays, this is one of them. So it's like out on that cutting edge type. When is that? The merger? I'd have to double check, but let me ask Claude. Maybe he can tell me. When is Agility Robotics merging with CCXI on the U.S. public market? Let's see what he's got to say. He's musing. Come on, Claude. Move yourself. Don't make me move up to Fable. You're moving too slow here. There's the current state of it. No closing date has been set yet. It's in the works, though. Agility Robotics agreed on the 24th of June to go public via reverse merger with Churchill Capital. Deal valued at $2.5 billion, with over $650 million expected, blah, 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 including pipe financing. Where does it stand? Is the most recent reporting. 3 things still need to happen before it closes. 1, Form S-4 registration statement, SEC paperwork, SEC review, shareholder vote. Timeline, both companies have said they expect to close the deal before the end of 2026, but no specific date has been announced, which is where I got the end of 2026 from. So I did look at this before. Until it closes, the only way to get public market exposure to Agility is through CCXI shares directly. So there you go. Grab you some shares. Don't go crazy, but it's one of those, like, it's risky, but it's like a potential multiplier. Yeah, like you don't have to go crazy. I think I bought like a few $100 here and then a few $100 there. Like I'm adding small percentages, very small percentages of my portfolio to it as I go. I think I started like a recurring weekly investment of like 25 or $50 or something like that. So because I'm not buying big chunks, I'm just buying in the general area. So yeah. Yeah, see, and here's the thing, like I said, I thought Dell might get stuck in this area because of the low volume. It's not a great time of day to trade day trades. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to run Poet $9 call for August 21st. Yes, that's what we're in right now. It's doing just fine. We're kind of bouncing around the money now. And I will let you guys know if I come up with anything else. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you all for coming again. We got another win today. We'll try and keep it going next week. So, like I said, we do this free, so please support the channel. You know, thumbs up. You know, like, love the live, much appreciated, and subscribe to the channel. You'll get alerts. And when I start posting again on TikTok, and Instagram, which I will be doing very soon, I also post them here. So if you're a YouTube kind of person, there you go. I post it all here too. And I'm going to start doing some long form here eventually, some lesson type things, but I'll get around to that. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming. Have a great day, and I will see you all next week right here. Have a good one.